A woman was in charge of the fortress, so Prince Louis hoped to easily capture it. He advanced rapidly through England and had already been proclaimed king, but many barons were still reluctant to recognize his authority. Lincoln Castle seemed like an easy target. However, Louis, hailing from the Capetian dynasty, was not well acquainted with Nicole de Laje. This clever and formidable lady had once successfully defended her holdings, buying time until reinforcements arrived. In the year 1215, the heir to the French throne landed in Kent to win for himself the throne of the Plantagenets. The reigning monarch, John Lackland, was not favored by anyone. The barons blamed him for losing vast territories on the continent. The Pope had excommunicated him, and rumors circulated that the king was bewitched by his French wife, Isabella. It was a prime opportunity to seize the kingdom, and the French prince decided to act. Formally, he even had the right to do so. Louis was married to the granddaughter of King Henry II and Eleanor of Aquitaine. In the 13th century, the rules of succession were not firmly established, allowing anyone with a connection to the throne to claim the crown, provided they had the strength and supporters to back them. Louis had both. The English barons themselves invited him to the throne, and Louis was proclaimed king in London, although the coronation ceremony could not be held. However, not all Englishmen were ready to accept French rule. They had already endured the Norman invasion in the mid-11th century and were not keen on experiencing it again. Restructuring their lives once more, changing their ways again. A faction of patriotic Englishmen formed, determined to expel Louis from the island. The Frenchman aimed to swiftly crush the dissenters. On his path lay Lincoln Castle, governed by Nicole de Laje. She was an older woman who had managed the fortress for many years. Her right to do so was hereditary, as her husband had previously held the position. When he passed away and the question arose of who would now oversee Lincoln Castle, they turned to the king. John Lackland declared that a lady would become the sheriff. The choice of Nicole over some bearded earl was made because she had successfully handled her duties and had even once led the defense of the castle. She managed to withstand powerful forces aligned with Chancellor Longchamp, who was fighting against Prince John, who was not yet king at that time. Prince Louis, the French interloper, was unaware of this situation. He was confident that the fortress would fall into his hands like a ripe apple, but it did not turn out that way. Nicole skillfully positioned her guards, had excellent informants in the town, and as a result, the prince captured Lincoln but could not take the castle. Nicole anticipated every move of the invaders. Her traps worked flawlessly, and she was able to send word to the Earl of Pembroke, who was leading the English faction. Soon, English forces gathered near Lincoln and dealt a defeat to Prince Louis. Another battle ensued, and the Frenchman soon realized that he would not be able to subdue the kingdom. He failed to become the next William the Conqueror, and the disheartened prince returned to Paris, where several years later he rightfully ascended to the French throne. After all, he was the eldest son of King Philip II Augustus. Meanwhile, Nicole de Laje reaffirmed her rights to the castle. Her granddaughter's husband, the Earl of Salisbury, tried to take control from her, but the next king of England, Henry III, declared that a lady would be the sheriff. It was not until the year 1226, on her own initiative, that Nicole resigned her post. Ironically, that same year, Louis VIII, the one who had tried to fight her, passed away. Lady Sheriff outlived him by 4 years.